And it is time to review a couple of the classic films as we move on with our hippie theme. And our next movie is going to be Easy Rider, directed by Dennis Hopper and starring Dennis Hopper, Peter Fonda, and the brilliant Jack Nicholson. Max Cook is going to give you the introduction. Do it, Rain Dance.
He's got the keenest nose for jellied panties either side of the Rio Grande. He may be crazy as a loon, but he ain't no crook. It's the mad chef himself, Mr. Max Cook. Terry Reid's To Be Treated. Back in the summer of '91, I left LA for several months, moved to Sonoma wine country, lived with my Uncle Patrick and his Hispanic wife Becky, which means I got to eat a lot of homemade tacos. I also grew my hair long, let my beard go, rode Harleys, cleaned carpets for money, hung out in the Haight-Ashbury district, and wrote a play about a biker gang that eventually got staged inside a local Burbankian theater. I even got to go to a backyard barbecue at Easy Rider executive producer Bert Schneider's house. Wow, man. What happened to those days? What happened to that Max Cook? Who the fuck am I anymore? Well, I'll tell you one thing, changes came. Change is a dick. For one thing, I got married. Yeah, I got hooked up young. Now, I don't blame my wife for killing my bikerness, but let's call a spade here. Marriage can be a huge compromise, and my wife doesn't want me riding any kind of motorcycle. She's scared of them. She only sees me dead on the highway. She knows I'd be more than a Sunday rider, too, which intensifies her womanly dread. She also doesn't like it when I grow my hair long. It gets too shaggy and split-endsy, she says, and the beard, too scruffy on her inner thighs. No matter, my beard comes in unattractively red and mossy anyway. Well, it used to. Now it just comes in white because I'm old now. 42, in fact. Got a bit of a gut. 42 years of shit, piss, rage, sex, hypersensitivity, neurosis, and near sin. 42. Almost as old as 1969's Easy Rider itself. Easy Rider's always been a deep-ass personal fave of mine, but I didn't realize this until the last viewing for tonight's show, just how devastatingly depressing it can be. It's always been a bummer flick, don't get me wrong, but I see it so much differently now than when I used to inhale it swift-like in my younger days. Even sadder, even sadder. Who are we anymore? We're so lame now. Back then, what are you kidding me? Back then, this was outlaw heroism at its coolest and finest, and funniest even. This is a funny fucking film. It's also a modified Western. Hogs instead of horses. You felt high and giggly on this cross-country adventure with the boys. Cocaine flower babes. These were the heroes of the day. Peter Fonda, Captain America, the California Golden Boy, son to Henry, brother to Hanoi Jane, steps into his own thing, the producer, the keeper of the honey, and his crazy buddy, the dope fiend, Billy the Kid, the art collector, the director of a new kind of show, a time of revolutionary filmmaking. Let's make a fucking movie they'll never forget, man, and let's fill it with our friends. What's Jack up to? Jack. Old Jack Nicholson. Acting God Nicholson. Why, that fucker became an international sensation overnight, man. A drunk southern lawyer who starts out on one side and ends up on the other where he appears to belong. Would that happen today? Can you imagine those parties at Cannes? Where was I? Nowhere. I was nothing yet, and now I'm a living nothing. But this was Easy Rider, mamas and papas. A glamour ride. A counterculture suppository inserted straight up the nation's uptight rectum. A hep journey through the other side of the heart of the American dream. Easy Rider begins where Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas ends. It all just blew up, didn't it? There's only one lesson here. We are not free. We are not free, damn it. No one saw it coming, but everyone saw it end. In a literal ball of flames, the sitting shotgun with a shotgun hillbilly with the goiter who blasts Cap and Billy into oblivion could just as easily be any number of sick fucks today with a gun and some bullets hell-bent on destroying you just because you look or think or talk the way that you do, just because you marry somebody of the same sex or are simply trying to catch a midnight screening of a superhero flick. I feel like I should have been 25 in 1965, you know? Maybe my work would have had more meaning. Maybe I would have been more involved politically and sociologically instead of just sending a check from the comfort of my condo and waiting for a receipt in the mail for my taxes. I'm gutted, man. I'm burnt out. I want quiet. No! I want Steppenwolf! Loud! I was born in the wrong decade. I was born during the recovery time. I wasn't the one who injured or tore asunder the artistic landscape. I played it cool, quiet. I was way too busy with girls. What was I doing? It wasn't until my teens that I started to get really rowdy. Even as a teen in the 60s, I could have made something of my madness. I would have slammed my ties with the monkeys, man. I met Mickey Dolenz. That dude's a trip. A businessman now, a world-weary relic of what was and is no more. And here we are, it's 2013. I'm 42 and already tired. Too many mistakes. The 60s are long over. The news of the day is North Korea and Leno and Fallon, just as fickle as it was when it was Iran, Iraq, and the fall of Anna Nicole Smith. We just keep going, regurgitation. Oh, but I just love it the old way so much more. And today, it's okay, I guess. Peter Fonda shows up at bike parades. Dennis Hopper is dead. Wait, that's not okay. Jack is 75 and living out his last years God knows how and hasn't made a movie since that one with Reese Witherspoon, a favor to his friend James L. Brooks. Well, that ain't right. Bert Schneider's dead. Oh man, that kind of sucks. And Phil Spector? Oh, well, Phil Spector's in jail, accused of shooting an actress. Didn't you see the HBO movie about him? It's evidently full of lies. Easy Rider was a very, very truthful entertainment for its time. You could eat popcorn to it, but soon you would set it down and pay close attention to the failure, to the ruinousness, to the blowing of it. We blew it, Billy. Did they? All right, so maybe this intro is making no sense, but this is what we've learned for sure. I am a different Max Cook at 42 than I was at 21. I'm not sure I like that, but I also know I have no choice. Maybe I think I grew up in the back of Captain America's 1952 Harley-Davidson Hydroglide, reborn as a chopper. Or maybe I'm just bought and sold like everybody else, waiting for my last MRI results and poking fun at Gary Busey's toothy antics on The Celebrity Apprentice, hopefully while drunk. My screaming urges to rebel against everything comes out from time to time, but for the most part, I'm currently suffering a mild case of creative impotence, I fear. I'd much rather sit back and wait for the phone to ring than to self-generate activity. But maybe it's not too late, because as depressing as Easy Rider can be, it makes you think about your lot in this stupid life. And, best of all, it inspires forever. Maybe I'll just buy that motorcycle after all. Oh, just kidding, honey. Little midlife crisis joke. Truer words.
Max, so you've never owned a motorcycle even before your marriage?
No.
Boy, so this is a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a problem. It is.
You know how guys are into cars? I've always been that guy that stops and looks at motorcycles, Googles new motorcycles. You know what I mean? Like, I've always loved them so much, and I'm always like into them and into the gears and the wheels and the chrome and all the good stuff. But now I can't really enjoy it like that.
So the only thing you could do is watch Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
That's it. That's your only release.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I have a friend that just bought a motorcycle about a year ago. He just got married about a year and a half ago. And they got married and he bought the motorcycle, and I guess she was kind of supportive about it, but Max, he says it changes everything. You know, he goes out like 3-4 times a week, late morning, and rides around for an hour. Says it's beautiful.
Good for him.
Just saying, you might want to think about doing it, Max.
It's not going to happen, Tom.
Why not?
Because I love my wife.
But why if she's denying you this lifelong dream, Max? Come on.
She is not denying me anything. She is being protective and loving. Listen, she lets me do a lot of things, but this is the one thing that she has a problem.
She lets you?
Well, you know what I mean. No. I'm not pussy whipped.
Mm.
Well, maybe sometimes.
Yeah, I think you are, Max.
No.
Come on, Max. Think about what you were just saying. Think about what you just told everyone. You want a fucking motorcycle, Max. That's what I got out of that. And you can't have one. It's pathetic.
Well, pathetic's a pretty harsh word there, Tom.
Get a motorcycle. Come on.
Hey, man, I'm locked in a union with a great woman.
Listen to your voice right now. Listen to it. Where's your spirit? We're talking about Easy Rider here, Max. Not a James L. Brooks movie.
I hear you.
Pace, am I wrong?
Look, I don't know. I feel for Max's position here because, I'm a married guy. My wife puts up with a lot of shit from me. She indulges a lot of crazy shit that I do.
Let me ask you this, Pace. Would she let you get a motorcycle if you wanted one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. She might, but I think she'd be pretty fucking terrified. Because the idea of me on a motorcycle is just not good. So I don't think she'd be too happy at the prospect.
What about you, Joe?
I actually think my wife wants to get motorcycles. She's talked a few times about getting wanting to have a motorcycle, like maybe when we're older. But we're not talking about being Hell's Angels or something like that.
No.
I think she likes the idea of like driving across the country or driving around on them.
Listen, Joseph, you can hear it in the guy's voice. Honestly,
I know, Max. Maybe. Listen, choose one thing, and you gotta make You gotta make your stand.
Head out on the highway.
Oh, Tom, you hear the music? That's Steppenwolf, Max.
This is Tom's revenge.
Oh, whatever comes our way. Come on, Max.
This is Tom's revenge for the last 8 shows.
Max, that line in the Pink Floyd song, do you relate to that? Well, I guess that's not
Which line?
Well, I was just, it doesn't really apply.
Not from the wall, I hope.
Psychopathic wives.
Well, she just keeps hanging up. This is a man answering.
Oh, poor Max. He'll never have a motorcycle. He'll never be satisfied in that department.
You know what's more disturbing about that review is that Max feels like he's always feels like he's missing something. He feels like he's not worthy, like he's not good enough, he's not famous enough, successful enough. And here's what you should take away from the hippies, Max. Really, if I could put forth my
hit me, man. I need it. I need it.
Is to find peace.
Certainly
with find peace with who you are, man. That's all, dude. I've heard the counselor say it actually. It just depends on what your definition of success.
He's a big hippie.
Yeah, you have to do well, dude. There's a lot of truth in it, man. You find peace with who you are. Make peace with yourself or who you are. Go. You weren't born 10 years too late. You didn't miss anything. What do you want to be? What do you want to be? You want to be Gary Busey? Everyone's laughing at on TV. Some dumb reality. Is that what would make you happy? Even if you get there, even if you're like some famous dude, you think that's really gonna make you happy? You think that's gonna do it?
It was a motorcycle accident, by the way, that kind of contributed to Busey being who he is today.
Gave face with the irony.
Just saying.
Max, have you ever eaten acid?
No, man. I really want to.
See, that's what you're missing.
I
Man.
know.
That,
You know why?
Come on, Cook.
You know why? Well, as a cartoonist, think about what an impact Robert Crumb had on the 60s and how his whole life changed after he did LSD. And I was thinking man, if I could just get a pen and paper and drop some acid, I mean, it would be...
Listen, don't take acid. Listen, it has nothing to do with being a cartoonist. It has to do with being a human being, honestly.
Have you?
and
I
find
agree with
find
Joe.
peace, man. I actually think people like should have like clean hallucinogenics, like not some shitty stepped on. Who knows what you're getting
on.
from the freaking hippie down on at Madison Square Garden? Like that's not good. But you
No,
should have
but have
something
you
clean.
done acid, Joe?
God.
I know Dave has.
Oh, more times than I could tell you.
Really? Is that true? What was your
Yeah.
best trip?
Well, you know what? It was more, more definitely acid a few times,
Uh,
but not more shrooms. And when I was like at that age, we used to go to Central Park and get like these bags of mescaline buttons. Be quiet, so
Are you being quiet?
I'm being
Your
quiet.
wife doesn't hear.
Not my wife, my kids, really.
Oh,
But you get like 100 of these like mescaline. They were called sunshine buttons.
yeah.
My one Traps was a fucking nutcase, dude. He'd be eating like 8 of them. But yeah, yes, plenty. But anyway, Max, here's what you got to do: is find somebody with shrooms. I'm sure Adam, the counselor, would be able
Well,
to.
no, I've done mushrooms.
Oh,
It's
okay.
never
All
been
right.
acid.
Well, that's good enough.
Yeah, it was good. It was on a camping trip, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only once though.
Only once. And we were supposed to eat the whole bag, and we shared it, and that wasn't
So
enough. But it was
So
enough.
you and I have done mushrooms together.
I think probably.
You guys do mushrooms.
We did mushrooms when we were like, in our young 20s.
Where'd you get
Together.
it from? Nomad Irish?
No, this is way before Nomad Irish. No, I don't know where we got them from. I remember that we got 2/8 of mushrooms, and me, you, and Joe split them.
Taverny.
Yeah. Dude, it was one of the best days of my life. It was really the first time I had ever tripped on anything.
Hey, Tom. I don't like the way you act when you're high. What am I supposed to do? You're not porous enough. Porous?
You have to look into your heart,
You
Tom.
gotta look into your heart, Tom. You gotta look through your third eye. You're too busy wearing your giant pressed shirts. What?
Dave, what about you?
Oh boy, here we go.
What about me? I don't know.
You've taken shrooms and stuff like that.
Yeah, copious amounts. Yeah, I mean, we look, you grow up in a small isolated community. There's really not a lot to do, and if you're sort of an adventurous sort, the best thing you can do is cause yourself permanent brain damage and do a lot of drugs. So that was a pretty like sizable part of my life for a while. I did a lot of various and probably dangerous drugs, and I think I learned a lot from it. Like I don't think you're quite the same after each time. Each time you sort of come out of it a different person. A little bit, your perception of the world is a bit altered.
It's true, man. It's true.
And sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse.
Right.
Like sometimes it's like, wow, I have a fresh perspective. I feel better. Or wow, I don't know what I think about that. Or wow, that was awful. So the last time I did acid was awful. It was god awful. And I was like, man, I'm never going to do that again. That was a living nightmare. Like I will never, ever. And I have this hit of acid that I don't know. I think I've had it for 10 years.
I'll take it.
And every once in a while, I'm like,
Dave, if you ever come to the
acid.
New York City area, bring it with you.
I will. I'm actually thinking of I'm going to this anime convention, and I think I might take that.
Oh my
Dave,
god!
I hear what you're saying though, because the last time I tripped was I think around 2005, 2006, and it was this really strong liquid acid, and it lasted 2 days. Like it was insane. It was too much. Nomad Irish he'll tell you too, Joe. Next time you see him. It lasted it was too much. It was insane.
That's too much, man. That's too much of a commitment.
By like after the 24th hour, and you want it to end, and it doesn't end for almost another 24 hours. it gets insane. And then you start thinking that it
Yeah.
might not ever end.
Yeah, well, you
You
think
know.
you're crazy, right? Like you think you've
Yeah.
permanently gone insane, and
Mhm.
then when it's like wearing off, and it's like
And you
you're
can't
like, oh, man,
eat
this
or
sucks."
anything. Yeah, you can't do anything except sit there and smoke cigarettes. You know,
No, I
It's-
I drank a bottle of methadone once, and I was probably I think I was high for like
What?
this isn't a normal
Methadone is when you're trying to go off drugs, right?
Yeah, but it fucks you up. It's really so. This guy I knew, he got to he was on a treatment program, and he got to carry home his methadone. Like you get to a certain point in the treatment where they trust you to take it on your own. And so what he would do is he would skim a little bit from each treatment and save it in a bottle. And he sold me the bottle one day, and I drank it, and I was like within like a couple of hours, I'm like, this methadone is bullshit. Nothing is happening. This sucks. And then I was in a coffee shop, and I realized that I was like sweating profusely,
oh,
and I'm like, oh god, I think I'm gonna die. And I felt like I was gonna die, and I had to just walk out of the coffee place. Like I just got up and walked out, like mid conversation with my friends, just got up and walked the fuck out. And I sat on a park bench for a while, vomiting.
Oh,
I don't know
God.
how long. I just like this is the middle of the day. You know, people are going to work and being productive, and I'm vomiting on a park bench uncontrollably. Nobody stopped. Incidentally, was like, "Are you okay?"
Jesus.
They just sort of let me do my thing, and then I went home, and I basically sat at home and I watched a lot of movies and smoked and vomited
Oh,
for
God.
like probably 36 hours. And I would like pass
Oh.
out, wake up, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm still fucking high. Oh my god, I
Jeez.
gotta puke again. And I would
Oh,
go up again.
Hey, Dave.
It was terrible. I don't recommend it.
Dave, when's the last time you vomited from being fucked up by anything?
ooh.
Really, I can't remember.
Oh, that's good.
I seriously can't remember. It's probably been a really long time.
Oh, that's great. That's actually encouraging.
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah. Well, Christiana puked all over my living room the last time he was here.
That's not in your living room.
Is that true?
Disgusting.
Not his living room. But listen, man, I don't puke from drinking forever, man.
I
For
was just
years.
making this up. You actually
But
puked.
yeah, I told you I did. The last time I
No.
was down there. Listen, man, you go to Tom's house. I'm usually in bed by midnight, the latest midnight. You're at Tom's house. You stand in the living room, and he's got a game where you pass the remote control and you pick a song on YouTube, and you play the song like you pass it along, so
Or
everybody gets a
Max
turn.
Cook video.
Doing that until 5:30 in the morning, giving me. I never ever drank Red Bull. He's giving me shots of what is it, Red Bull and vodka
Right.
till 5 in the morning. I was just like, I gotta
Joe,
get back.
Joe.
I went into the bathroom. I clutched his baseball trivia book. I got down on my
You
knees.
texted me, Joe. You
And
texted
then
me when
went
you
to
were on the pod.
Oh, when I was
But you
puking
weren't
that.
puking. You were doing the other thing.
Oh,
Joe,
that was-
you have to tell us what it's like inside Tom's current place. When you walked in, is it nicely decorated? Is it order house? What is it
It's
like?
fine. It's clean. It's much cleaner than I
Clean,
remember.
right?
Yeah, it's much cleaner than I thought it would be because I hadn't been to Tom's a couple of years ago, whatever. I hadn't been to Tom's apartment since we were in our 20s, and it looks like bomb shelters. But now I had no idea what to I had no idea what to expect, and I was very pleasantly surprised at how clean Tom's house is.
There
And he
you
keeps
go, Max.
Are you
But
clean?
it is not decorated. That I
Does
mean,
he
you know,
have posters of the
expect-
office up on the wall?
I do have a.
Steve Carell?
I do.
What did you think of that, Joe?
I don't really think. Listen, when you don't have a woman around, to put those touches in your house, that's the way it is. I mean, my apartment wouldn't be any different. You know what I mean?
Hey, Tom.
Right. Yeah.
Tom, when you lived with that chick, did you have posters of Steve Carell from The Office up on the wall?
No, she was not. She didn't know. She did not let me do that stuff. In the bedroom, I could put it up, but not out in the living room. No, the only thing that was allowed out in the living room to be hung up was anything Jesus Christ related.
Oh, so wait, in the bedroom? You mean in her bedroom, like Steve Carell was
Well,
watching you guys?
yeah, yeah.
I was just thinking
guess
that,
Dwight
like,
Schrute.
him bending
Dwight
over you.
Schrute would be watching Tom hump.
I have yeah, I mean, I guess so. But we lived together we shared an apartment, I guess, for about 20 months, and we only shared the bedroom for like maybe the first 10 months, maybe, and then we had separate rooms.
Hey Tom, did that kid ever walk in on you guys having sex?
God, no, he's
All right, easy.
he's like, he was in a crib for the first few months we were living together.
Hey
Still.
Tom, are you gonna watch the Dwight Schrute spinoff?
No, I stopped watching The Office midway through the 6th season, I think. I can't stand it anymore. I think it's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. It just went so downhill. Even when Carell was there, probably like the last season and a half when Carell was there, it just took a big dog shit. I can't stand that show. It's poo-poo pee-pee shit, and I don't like it. It's not funny. It used to have a lot of heart and soul, and it doesn't anymore. Unfortunately. I do recommend, however, the first 4 or 5 seasons are brilliant.
So, Tom, you're saying that you don't like when shows, get mired down in poo-poo and pee-pee all the time.
Yeah, although that's
Is that what you're saying? You think that's a mistake? Like a show just could be completely consumed with their
Joe,
poop and their
it's
pee?
a
You think that's
big mistake. It's a big mistake.
Yeah, I
It
think so
is
too.
a huge mistake. And I hope we never go down that road, gentlemen. And I'm glad that
Yeah.
we've avoided it so far.
Yeah, we'll be careful about that.
I do want to say something about acid, though, because, Max, I have performed on stage at clubs performing my music twice during an acid trip.
Hey, was one of the videos the ones that you showed?
No, I was that one video that's on the Facebook.
I like that video.
That was the first show I ever did, ever. And I was drunk. No, I was not on acid.
Why do we get fucked up, gentlemen? Why? Is it because we're so creative we can't hack it sometimes and we just gotta turn the brain off and just have fun? Why do we do it?
I mean, this is a really, really interesting question. So I'll let the smarter guys handle this one. Dave?
Oh, come on, Tom.
Yeah, Tom. What are you talking about? The smarter. What is wrong with you?
Nothing.
Nothing. Now you're all innocent. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
Oh, what the hell does that even mean?
What are you, sucking on a lozenge?
Max, I'm dying here. I'm trying so
You're
hard.
dying?
I'm trying not
What
to.
are you dying over?
I popped the candy in my mouth.
You're sucking on a candy. Don't
Because
choke on it.
I thought Pace was going to talk for a few minutes. Like
We're getting to Pace, but we're dealing with you. You
I
sit
asked him
there
a question.
choking on a lozenge? What are you sucking on? Spree?
Sour cherry. Max, sour cherry. And I'm trying to quit smoking here. But remember what Cherry said? Be supportive to me. And you know what you do? You rain on my parade, no matter what. I'm so nice. I offer you love. I offer you peace. I offer you advice. I'm a good friend to you.
I couldn't be happier that you're taking another break from smoking. Is it because of Sherry? Is it?
It is. It has been in my mind. Yes.
Have you looking at pictures of her on Facebook?
If I could go 3 days without a cigarette, I'm gonna contact her and let her know. Seriously. And I'm gonna, take her advice. I'm tired of being fat too. I swear to God, I was like in the bathroom like 2 days ago, and I'm like, what the fuck? I just had this whole experience where I'm like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck happened?
Yeah, dude.
My belly, I got a belly hanging over my belt line. What the fuck is that?
Get rid of it.
Work on it, brother. What is that? It's horrible, Max.
Hey, listen, don't be so hard on yourself.
I can't get
You're
a woman.
Working stiff.
I'm a big fatso.
No, you're not a big fatso.
Joe said, Tom, Hey, Tom, you used to be a good-looking guy.
Hey.
Used to be.
I remember the Tom of old.
Yeah.
With an E on the end.
Hey, that's because Joe knows you personally and has seen the demise of you.
Oh, poor Tom. We're gonna go down this road. We're gonna go down this road again.
The
Jesus
demise.
It hurts, Joe.
I'm very happy to hear that you're starting to think about it, Tom, and that the last episode, it sunk in a little bit.
It's
And
been
like
a
I
little
said,
bit better. I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't want to, really jinx myself because I've been honestly been toning down the late night eating and everything. Like I
Hey, Tom,
really
are you still eating Life cereal at 12 at
no
night?
no.
My
I
God, dude, that's amazing.
no, but I'm going to say this. But listen, I don't want to give anybody the wrong idea. Since the last show, I've done it. I did it once. I did it a few days ago. But Sherry said on the show, she says, "Look, she's like, you're going to do it once in a while.
Wow.
It's like just try not to do it all the time." And that's,
Hey, you know what? Willpower is a fucking bitch. I have a very tough time with it.
yeah. But
Dude.
the weather's breaking out here, dude, and I feel like
What does that have to do with it?
well, you get a whole sense of of something new happening.
Oh, okay.
well, that is true, man. You don't get people on the West Coast don't understand how much the weather has to do with how you feel about everything.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like it totally changed. Like everything's almost
Yeah.
pretty much the same out there in LA all the time.
like-
You don't get any ups and downs. But when you're out here, man, you feel good. You have actually differences of mood out here. It's
Yeah,
affected by weather.
April, May, and June, and September and October are like the best times, like in New Jersey, right, Joe?
Man, I like all the seasons. I like except the end of winter is really rough. That's the toughest for
Don't
me.
you
'cause
get
I'm-
that? I get really depressed during the winter season, especially when it starts getting dark at 4:30 p.m.
I don't mind. I actually like the winter. It's just the end of it. It just lasts too friggin' long. That's all.
Now, Max, that happens in LA too, right? I mean, they get dark, right? But the sun goes down early out there during the winter season.
Yeah, that's what I like. I don't like when the sun goes down late and it's all bright forever. Like right now, the sun is fucking shining on me.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it's 6 p.m.
Listen, Joe sent me an extraordinary text out of nowhere, and I'm hoping we can talk about it. Joe, is it
Oh,
fair to
boy.
say,
Sure.
and I don't mean to get scatological, but Joe, is it fair to say you let go of what was inside you in the woods?
Here we go again. Look, I'm gonna shift this toward the theme of this show, not last show, Max. All right, but I will talk to. This just goes to show how much I commune with nature. It has nothing to do with scatological business. That was last show. This is this show, and we're talking about hippies, and hippies like to be in the woods and everything. And I'm in the woods at least almost every day. Actually, live very close to the woods. I go hiking and everything. So a couple days ago, I was hiking in the woods, and I had to go. So I sat on the edge of a log, and I let my steamer out while my dog watched, trying to figure out what the hell I was doing.
And he felt weird that his chick dog was looking at him while he was taking a shit, right, Joe?
It's nothing to do with being a chick dog. I just thought it was funny that so many times I'm watching my dog take a poop, waiting for her to be done. Then I gotta now all of a sudden she's looking at me like, what, it's like her world got overturned.
So that felt really, really good.
There's nothing like taking a poop in the woods, man. I love going into the woods. I love it.
Now,
and pooping in the woods.
When's the last time Dave took a shit in the woods?
Like fucking never.
Why?
Fucking never. I don't know. I you know what?
You write a review.
You may or may not be surprised that I don't spend a whole lot of time in the woods. Which isn't to say I don't like it. I spent a lot of time there as a child, but no, I don't spend a lot of time in the woods, and certainly.
What is that noise in the back?
Yeah, are you murdering someone?
That's my fucking dog.
Don't say
playing
fucking
with a
dog. You don't
What?
dog, do you?
Yes, I do, severely, all the time. It's vicious. No, of course not. I love my dog. It's great. But I hate that squeaky toy.
Oh, it's a squeaky toy. That's so sweet, Dave. There's
got
a
a squeaky
sweetness
toy.
to you.
Yeah, of
You know
course.
what? We're all a bunch of edgy fuckers with heart that never end. Let's face it.
Hmm.
I'm glad that we talked so much about Easy Rider.
But
tonight.
Joe, what are we gonna say about Easy Rider? They've been talking about this movie for 40 years, for crying out loud, over and over
Yeah, it's
again.
true. It was actually only the second time I saw it. So, and the reason
Me
why I picked it was
too.
because I wanted to see. I was
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing it again. You know what I mean? And like really watching it. I really.
Me too.
Obviously.
I hear you. No, I hear you. It was the second time I've seen it too, Joe. I had watched it once with our friend Joe, when I was like 21, 22 years old. That was my own film, and watching it like a few days ago was
Hey,
really
Tom, is that true? You watched this for the first time with Joe Cristiano?
Joe Taverny.
Oh. Hey, Tom, I don't really feel like you're getting this. I wish you watched it with Joe C, because Joe C knows this movie. Don't you, Joe? You know.
Well, like I said, it was only the second time I did it, but I do love the open road, man. Driving, it's just gorgeous. Like some of that photography is just beautiful, and going with the music is just fantastic.
Laszlo Kovacs.
Yeah,
cinematographer.
absolutely. Yeah, there was a great shot in that hippie commune when he does a 360 circle around those faces. It looks like a friggin' painting. It's just gorgeous. But hey, one thing I did notice is that in this movie they're moving from west to east, which is pretty much the opposite. Because isn't there like a famous quote that progress is always to the west or something like that? Dave probably knows what I'm talking about. The quote that I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it's Tim Leary or somebody like that anyway who talks about how the progressive spirit always sort of has been moving west, and it's always been go west, young man, and you'll find your way. And but I think maybe what Easy Rider might have been getting at a bit is that they moved all the way west, and there was nowhere else to go, so you go back again, or maybe that's why it didn't end so well for them.
Right.
Yeah.
I was so blown away by that ending. Like, I don't know if I just kind of I couldn't get into that ending. And for anyone that hasn't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but it just really kind of had just ridiculous almost. It's like that's what happens, right? These, because that's what happens in this world, that people get shot like that. I mean,
well, that just reminded me of how much of a threat that these hippies actually pose to people, in conservative America.
All right, guys. Anyone else want to say anything about Easy Rider before we get to ratings? Joe, Dave, Max, anyone?
I just want to say that I watched the documentary on the disc, on the DVD, and it's really a fascinating documentary. They told Hopper and Fonda talk all about making this film and what actually went into making it, and it's really worth checking out. It's pretty amazing.
You must have sent me 8 emails telling me to watch that documentary.
Yeah,
and
man.
After the 7, I would have watched it, but when I got the 8th email, I decided not to watch it.
It was not 8, but it was fascinating to hear what they went through and what a maniac friggin' Hopper is, and just all this backstory stuff. It's just fanboy type of stuff, which was really, really interesting. So I recommend anybody who's interested in this film and checking out that documentary.
All right, guys, let's do some ratings. We'll start with Max Cook this time. Max, avoid, rent Easy Rider, or throw it in your collection. Tell us.
What if I said avoid? Never. Never. I mean, own 9 copies. Own all the copies. I have a copy on DVD with a commentary from Hopper and a not so interesting making of doc. But this was like, I don't know, 15 years ago. I don't know what they've come up with since then. But this is a very, 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 very special film. And, anyone that's into movies, even if you're into old-timey black and white movies or Wanderlust. I mean, this is right in the middle. This is such a classic, and it's such a deep, beautiful, funny, crazy ride. I can't imagine anyone that wouldn't want to take this ride.
So, Max, you're gonna recommend that you own this film?
Oh, I think you should own it. I think you should own all the copies.
every single copy.
Every single copy.
Video
through
cassette.
the years.
Video cassette.
From VHS, from Betamax up until the Blu-ray. Own.
Dave, what are you doing?
I think if you don't already own this movie, I don't know. There's probably something wrong with you, and you should seek immediate help.
I don't own it, Dave.
Seek
I really
immediate
don't.
help.
I will seek immediate help. That's for certain. What are you doing, Joseph?
Yeah, it's definitely an owning type of film if you're a DVD collector, man. It's just beautiful.
I think you're right. I mean, I was wondering why I don't have a copy of this laying around, but I had the opportunity to watch it on Blu-ray through Netflix, and it was absolutely, stunning to watch, the open.
Hey, Tom,
Yeah.
what's the lamest movie you own?
The last movie I bought?
The lamest movie you
Oh,
own.
the lamest movie I own. Oh, that's an interesting question. Jeez Louise. That's a tough one.
Top Pee-wee.
I think probably. Oh God, can I look through my collection and answer that question at some other time, please?
No.
Oh,
You have to answer now. Look at your collection now.
I am. Yeah, I already.
He's up.
I already see one because I keep a lot of them here.
Why do I own a copy
All right, here's something that's funny. I just pulled out.
of Fast and the Furious 9?
No, God, no. I just pulled out Flight 93, which was the A&E version of United 93.
Why do you own that? Listen, of all the Nicholson films I own, can you believe it? I own 9 copies of Mars Attacks.
Here's a good one. Feast. The
Why?
the HBO Project Greenlight movie
No!
by John Gulager.
I own a copy of Fall Weddings and a Funeral. Tom.
But then I grab a couple, and they're really interesting movies, so they're all over the place. You never know what you're gonna get.
Would you call yourself a cinephile?
I don't know. What does that even mean? I mean, come on.
It means that you
I know what it means, but listen, I watch films every day. I own films. I read about films. I guess one of my favorite topics of discussion is film. So,
do you own the movie Interview with a Vampire?
I don't own Interview with the Vampire. No, I own. I own
Bridesmaids.
What?
Bridesmaids.
No,
Billy Jack.
I don't own Billy Jack. No, I own The Legend of Billie Jean.
Eat the Surface.
What? What, Max? I own The Legend of Billie Jean.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you own Time Travelers?
I don't own Time Travelers. No. Although I do own 2 Joe Christian. Well, I don't know if I own them, but I was given Shaman and Famous. I own Joseph Christiana's Shaman, and I own.
Oh, hey Tom, I did commentary on that one.
Joe, you should do commentary.
Joe, why don't you? Do you own the King of New York?
Yeah,
Abel
I do
Ferrara?
own King of New York. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I do. It's right.
Do you own Apocalypse Now Redux?
I don't own Apocalypse Now. No.
Because Dennis's character Billy, it would be as if he went to Vietnam and became a photographer. He's the same dude in Apocalypse Now.
Really?
Francis had that third eye on him. Because Dennis is always playing Dennis before he became Frank Booth, if you think about it. Do you own Stanley Kubrick's Lolita?
I don't own Lolita. No, I should own.
Oh, I own that.
Yeah. I should have every Kubrick film, but I don't.
Do you own Communion, starring Christopher Walken,
Nope.
based on the Whitley Strieber
I
novel?
know what it is. I don't own Communion. No.
Do you own Private Parts, Howard Stern's?
Yes.
Do you own Bugsy, starring Warren Beatty and Annette Bening?
Do not know.
Or is this going anywhere, Max? Are you just taking
Nope.
an inventory? Are you looking to try to get into Tom's will so we could?
Max, do you own Young Guns?
Fuck no!
Young Guns.
Max, do you own?
Yes!
Max, do you own Dreamcatcher?
Good Lord, no!
Film Inventory Podcast.
I know, Jesus Christ.
Tom, do you own Danny DeVito's Hoffa, starring Jack?
Absolutely.
Me too!
Absolutely. Max, do you own?